How excited are you to see that badge in the Indian market? Well, it's been on the cards for a while. We knew about it, that it's going to happen eventually. It's finally here. You can call this the third generation of the Sierra ever since it first launched in 1991. There was a generation change that happened later as well in around 97, 98. This one then becomes the third generation of the car. And there is a lot to like in this, and there are some things that you won't. But I'm going to tell you all about this car and of course the launch date as well. But before I get into all of that, like, subscribe, share, and of course hit that bell icon so that you'll get all the automotive content from AquaDrive. The first thing that you'll notice about this car is the face. So let's get into the face of this car to check out what exactly has changed. So you have those slim looking LED DRLs. They look really nice. That saber LEDs that are not switched on currently because obviously the battery is drained, but you can see that line going from one side to the other. Extremely slim looking headlamps as well, and then you have the fog lamps under there. So extremely well placed. Now how well they do on the road is another factor altogether, and we'll get to see that when we come close when we get to drive the car very soon in December itself. But overall, if you see, it's a very squarish stance, extremely similar to what the Sierra had. So yes, all that put together makes it look very good. Now even on the bonnet, if you see a little close up of the bonnet, you'll see that there's just a little bit of muscle and not too much. You see this line, and you see the same on the other side. There's just that much amount of muscle on it. Yes, it might create that illusion of maybe the Tiago's bonnet, which is similar as well. So you see that, but then again, pedestrian safety becomes a big part of this. So hence the square stance, hence no muscle here. You know, that's a major consideration too. But let's go to the side and check out what it has to offer. On the side, it's still the squarish stance that you saw up front. So yes, it's still very much like a Defender, the mini version of it. But you know what? That square stance works on this car because you have a square looking glass window as well. You see it here, and then you have square looking glass window right here too. But the bigger thing is that you have this massive B pillar, which adds up to, you know, it looking more like the old generation of the Sierra. And even this black bit, and after which you have the panoramic sunroof, it just adds to the glass area of the car, which basically means that more light will go inside the car and it will look spacious. I think that's what we can agree on. The one thing that you see here are the 19-inch wheels. Now, right now, these fill the wheel wells pretty well, and that squarish, you know, wheel arch also look good. But the thing is that this might be only available on the top end variants. The lower variants, especially the lower variants, might basically get 17 or 18 inches, which I don't frankly know how well it will fill that wheel well. So only time will tell, or we'll get to know on the 25th what that configuration is, because that's when the car is launching. Now just come to the rear side of this part only. This is actually again of the very squarish stance, but then you have this Easter egg here, which is a horse. So yes, it is very much the theme of the Sierra, a horse. That's the Easter egg, and that's what it's going to be like. Will it run like a horse? Well, only time will tell, and we'll tell you all about it in the review. But meanwhile, let's go check out the inside, because that's more, well, what do you call that? Exciting. Ah, I know that's not the inside of the car, but before I get inside it, of course the rear is worth talking about because it's flat at the back. It's extremely nice looking, there's no doubt about it, but look at how flat it is. Yeah, there's no exaggerated bump on it, but it looks pretty nice. And no, it's misbehaving itself as usual. There you go, it's opening. And you see, it's a pretty wide boot. So you'll have good amount of boot space. We'll know more about the specifications of the car on the 25th when it launches. But meanwhile, It has a lower loading lip, so you get your baggage and you can load it easily. And all of this really helps because it's a wider booth as well. So you know what? Putting in stuff is and taking out stuff is going to be easy. This height I don't know about. Maybe I'm planning to hit that one. I don't know. But overall, this looks pretty good. And I can't wait to see more. But is there space for a third row? I doubt it because it'll just eat up into all the boot space that this car has to offer, and then it'll just cramp up space at the rear. So yeah, third row, I don't think is possible. Well, this is the place to be, especially when it comes to the Sierra, because it's completely different than what we've seen in any of the Tata Motors cars in the country currently. There are some things that are familiar, like the steering wheel. We've seen that, seen this gear lever as well. We've seen this bit as well. But the one thing that you haven't seen is this massive screen. Three 12.3-inch screens in the car. They're not lit up, obviously, because this is just a show car and we'll get to know more about that on the 25th of November. But it's well done, really. Minimalist kind of view. Would you have wanted more buttons? Yes, for sure. But again, it's more digital front than physical. But you know what? You come on this side and you see that there is a terrain button, which is basically which you're going to change the terrain response or the kind of terrains you are going to be. That's basically your drive mode selection. It's right here, very ergonomic when it comes to checking it, changing it. So well done there. And of course, the drive select mode also is here. You have wireless charging. You have a deep kind of a, a cubby hole here as well, and then you have the cubby holes here and of course some space to keep there. Now if you go closer into this cubby hole, you will see there are some coordinates there, and those coordinates are actually spread throughout the car. Even if you come closer here, you'll see those coordinates splashed here as well. That's very interesting how Tata Motors is kind of doing it, and those coordinates I think are of where this car is made. It's very interesting how Tata Motors is bringing that out. The kind of colors used inside, again, I would say Tata is brave enough to kind of go with white, and there should be at least a black or something closer to black that should be involved here. Now, the one big thing that is coming out of this is that bit there. Yes, Dolby Atmos is going to be part of the Sierra. How it will sound, how it will look like, or how it will perform. Not look like rather, but how it will perform. We'll get to know more about that when we actually see the car and we actually have this car in a good shape to function, because they would just shut it all down, sadly. But this space I think could have been used better. This entire bit, it's just a stand here, could have been used better. Think about the EX30 or many other such cars that we see, how usable the space is. And you have this bit too, giving you a little more under thigh support, very functional bits. These look like ventilated seats too, so yeah, it's just conjecture at this point in time, but I'm sure Tata Motors is in with the times and in with the trends when it comes to that. So really cool looking front end, and we'll get to see what the rear is like, because that's where most of the space that this car has is being presented. So let's check that out too. Well, the rear seat is pretty spacious. The amount of space I have for my knees is great. Headroom too is no problem at all. And the kind of plastic used inside, I think that's something to talk about. It is a big win for Tata Motors, because that has been a problem point for the company. Plastic here is nice, and use of gloss is extremely well done. Now you also have the window up and down button here, and you have a clear view of the sky thanks to this panoramic sunroof which I was talking about. But you know what is replacing the panoramic sunroof in terms of demand? is the sunshade. Is it kind of becoming the new need or the urgency want of Indian consumers? Because you see it just popping up in mass market vehicles now, and that's something to talk about. Now the seat here is extremely well done. Under thigh support is good. You can see how wide or how large this part is. So yes, very exciting, and three people sitting here I don't think should be a problem. You have rear AC vents as well right down here and charging ports too. So it's nice to know how Tata Motors has approached the rear seat basically, and then you have a very small mound here, which again is more like a flat floor, but well, there is a short mound there. It's exciting. It's something that we have not seen Tata Motors do, but it still sticks to what the Sierra was as a car: spacious, lifestyle oriented, and extremely fun. Well, you can see how many people are attracted to this. And the fact remains that it is one of Tata Motors' biggest launches of the year. So yes, big on anticipation, absolutely have to crack this one. That's what Tata Motors might be thinking. And that's what we'll get to know on the 25th of November, because the launch of the car is on that date. Of course, we will be there. The entire Acco Drive team will be there to give you all the latest updates and of course know more about the car. Now, how excited are you about the Sierra coming to India, and what do you feel the expected price of this car will be? Tell us in the comment section below so that we'll at least know what to expect from you.